that there's 4 things to know about tulips. Okay, number 1, you got to have the snow, the frost. Okay, you got to live in a zone where it gets cold a good amount of the winter time. Okay, this will wake them up out of dormancy. That'll get them going. Number 2 is soil. You got to have sandy soil or well draining soil. Okay. Number 3 is depth and spacing. Okay, 6 inches deep, 6 inches apart, and that'll set you up for number 4, which is maintenance. Okay, now get back to number 1, because all these rules that kind of fall into each other, it gets you set up, gets you going in the right direction, kind of gives you a general idea as to what's going on. So back to number 1. Okay, for example, if you live in a zone that's a hotter zone like Arizona or California or what have you, where you don't get a decent amount of snow or frost, then you'll have to put them into the fridge, not the freezer, the refrigerator, for about 14 weeks, about that 30 degree, 40 degree mark roughly. Get them chilled, don't freeze them. Okay, the minute you freeze them, you're going to run risk of killing the bulb, which means even though you plant it, it won't come back for you next year, or the quality may not be as good. So, back to number 1 again. You got to have the snow and the frost for a low maintenance option. Okay? Number 2, the reason why you need sandy soil is because these are dormant about 80-90% of the year. Okay? So you don't want it to hold that moisture. It's going to cause bulb rot. Okay, so the one thing you don't want is rotten bulbs, then your tulip quality goes right downhill. So for example, oftentimes people have clay. What happens with clay, it's either too wet or too dry. So when you plant it in the clay, basically you just made a cup of rotten bulb. So that's no good. You want to take it, you want to mend that soil, get it as, I guess, loose, for lack of a better term, and well filtering as possible. So you're going to want to put 60% sand as a good starting point, okay? Because you want it to filter out, you don't want it to hold that moisture, okay? You want a good, decent bulb, okay? Number 3 is the depth and spacing again. So the closer you pack them in, the more maintenance is going to be required. A, you're going to have to do more fertilizer, and B, you're going to have to dig them up more often. So to kind of give you a general idea. So when you have the snow and the frost, you have that good sandy or well-draining soil. You got that spacing, 6 inches deep, 6 inches apart. Okay, then yeah, maintenance is easy. 5 to 7 years from now, when you've planted it the first year, dig it up, separate your bulbs, plant them 6 by 6 again, and you're good to go for another 5 to 7, as long as you refertilize the ground and give it nutrients to go again. Oftentimes I tell people that you go year after year. If they come up, they're big and gorgeous, reassess it the next year. When it starts to kind of dwindle down, where you're like, all right, the quality doesn't seem like it's there as much, or you get a leaf that comes up, or you get a stalk that comes up and the bud seems to kind of fizzle out, fertilize about every week to every other week minimum, force some kind of bloom out of it, and dig it up when everything's dead and gone. Separate it again, 6 by 6. Oftentimes I tell people, as long as the soil's nice and cool, you could probably get away with replanting them right away. Best case is to hold on to them, keep them in a nice cool place between 40 and 60 degrees again until October, when the ground is nice and cool again, and you can replant it and be good to go the next year. So some things to consider. Now this rule is kind of just cut and dry. It's kind of going over the basics. Now for example, you can have such a thing as too much sand. So if you've got too much sand, like almost straight beach sand, recommend cow manure, because what happens is when you put your granular fertilizer in, by the time it breaks down, your root system can't reach it. So there's an opportunity for you to put some cow manure in there and get some better bulbs the next year, some better quality, and a better option for you. Yeah. To go back to the depth rule, oftentimes people say when you plant your bulb 3 times the size or the height per se of the tulip. That kind of just equates to 6 inches deep as the general rule of thumb. Now it doesn't matter if you put the tip up or you just drop it in and whatever happens, happens. They all naturally find their way up. So another thing to consider. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to message us via Facebook. Veldheer Store is where you can buy your bulbs. Facebook website, Veldheer Tulip Garden on Facebook. Send us a picture of what you got. We'll get you going in a positive direction and help you out from there. So we not only sell you the product, but we sell you the care package as well as a benefit for you guys. So come out, check us out, like us, because we like this as much as you do, I'm sure. That's why we're watching the video together. So take it easy, enjoy the rest of your day.